And he looks back at me and goes, I can't believe those arteries are in that young of a body. And he goes, I want you to listen to me right now. If you don't change what you're doing, another man is walking your little baby girl down the aisle on her wedding day. Do you got it? As a young man, athlete, full of ego, I was humbled that I needed to serve. I'm getting chills. I had to serve these boys. And the third thing my dad's drinking did for me is it equipped me for that moment. Wow. Because these boys all had the same anxiety. They were wards of the court. Their parents were dead, incarcerated, or had molested them. And so although I didn't have that kind of anxiety, I knew what it was like to be a little 8-year-old boy and be fearful and be scared. And I could connect with them based on that. And so ironically, the entire time, God, the universe, life was equipping and preparing me for that moment. If my dad's not an alcoholic, I don't learn to assess people. He's not at the AA meeting that refers me, and I can't connect with these boys when I get there. We were building a dream home, and I ended up coming there. They were inside working on it, and I walked in. I was angry this day, mad about business and mad something about the house. And all of the men working in my home were these beautiful Latin men. Their music's playing, they're dancing, they're having a great time working on my home. And if you measured life in that moment by happiness, they were beating me terribly because although I had these external things, I was robbing myself from any bliss in that moment. It was ironic. The man building the mansion was miserable and the men in there working on it were blissful. And it just struck me watching it that day. I said, shame on you. And what I was lacking, as you talk so beautifully about, was gratitude. As a little girl, there was this wisdom. She'd always say, because I always want stuff, I'm going to achieve. We're going to live in a beach house and a mansion and a jet and all this stuff. And she'd always tell me, babe, people matter, things don't. And this little girl would tell me this growing up. And then when I walk into McKinley Home for Boys, those words start to really be true because guess what? It was in my reticular activator all the time and people did start to matter to me. And things really didn't. And ironically, I got a lot of things because I helped a lot of people. So I think that we all want bliss, we all want happiness. But what a lot of us conflate, and I used to, all of my content's for me. Number one, by the way, everything I teach is stuff that I need to work on or I need to learn. Like everything, right?
Tell me about
so blissful dissatisfaction means don't conflate happiness and satisfaction. They're two different things. Most people confuse them. They think they're the same. When I was 30, I had a heart attack and I went and saw a remarkable doctor. He got reasons. So what happens is you go do the scan, he does the scan and you go to lunch. I'll never forget this. I literally ate a burrito at the lunch. That's how, after it. And I come back from the scan, there's nobody in the lobby and the doctor comes in and he goes, I'm looking for Edward Mylett. And he looks at the chart and he looks back at me and goes, I can't believe those arteries are in that young of a body. And I went, oh my gosh, what's in the scan? He's loading me up with reasons. Do you have children? I said, yes. He says, do you have a daughter? I said, I do. He said, how old is she? And I said, she's a baby. And he said, are you interested in walking her down the aisle on her wedding day? And I went, what did you just say? You don't talk to a dad about his daughter. You got my attention. I go, what the f is in that scan, man? And he goes, I want you to listen to me right now. If you don't change what you're doing, another man is walking your little baby girl down the aisle on her wedding day. Do you got it? And I said, yes, sir, I do. And he goes, but if you listen to me and you do exactly what I tell you, you'll be there for her wedding day.